I'm John Seaman. I'm here with Kerry Kautzer. The VSCDA Elkhart Lake Festival presented by Volvo Cars USA. This is an annual gathering of sports and race cars at Road America Racetrack in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This is the weekend of September 16th to 18th, 2016. The Volvo Club of America will be having their 35th national meet called Swedish Speed and Style this weekend. It is expected to be one of the largest gathering of Volvo street and race cars in club history. Volvo Cars USA is sponsoring the event. The PV 444 passenger car entered production in 1947. Volvos first arrived in the United States in 1955 on the West Coast. In addition to a street car show and an autocross, Volvo race cars will be entered in several race groups. Formula Junior cars are also featured. From 1958 to 1963, Formula Junior replaced Formula 3 cars as a stepping stone to Formula One. It was created by Count Johnny Laurani and provided for Fiat, Ford, and BMC 1.0 or 1.1 liter engines. In 6 short years, developments went from a ladder frame front engine to space frame rear engine cars like Cooper's, leading to full monocoupe cars like Lotus. The Gather on the Green car show will be Saturday evening at the Osthoff Resort, and the VSCDA banquet will feature racing great Bill Wiestoff as its guest speaker. The Volvo race will be Saturday, and a Volvo parade lap will be on Sunday.
John Coyle, you're requested at registration. John Coyle, to registration, please.
I'm with Jim Perry. This weekend, the Volvo is the featured mark. Jim has been a Volvo guy for many years. The cars are made where?
They were originally built in Sweden. They're built all over the place now, including next year in South Carolina.
Now, Volvos have been involved in a lot of racing in addition to building cars for the general public. Can you give us some information on the racing history of Volvos?
Sure. They really started off in Europe with rallying, particularly some of the very long rallies in Africa. There was a couple brothers who rallied a 444 for a long time, and I believe they won the Midnight Sun Rally. So this was back in the 50s, but the road racing really began here in the late 50s and the early 60s with a car that actually is here today, or at least the recreation of that car. Art Riley, who was a New Jersey Volvo dealer, decided that he wanted to encourage the public to see Volvo as a performance car, as not just as a car that was dedicated to safety, and so he started running a P1800 back in the early 60s and was very, very successful with it.
Now, here at Road America, we have both race cars and street cars. Is that right?
That's right. This weekend is all Volvo. We have the Volvo Club of America holding its national meet, so there is a show field of concours. Volvo Corporation, which is now known as Volvo Car USA, is here in force. Their executives will be with us today. They have a heritage display to representing the very best of the earlier cars, and then they also have their new cars for test drives for people that come to the event this weekend. And then, of course, we've got all these beautiful race cars, which is what I'm mostly interested in, of course. I've been kind of involved since about 1974.
Now, tell us about your race car.
This is a 62 P1800 Jensen body car. It was built originally by Dwayne Mateka, who's with us this weekend as well. The car is a 5-time National Historic Series champion, campaigned by Dwayne at that time. I started racing in 2010 as I was getting ready to retire from my university position, and said, let's go racing. I think this is going to be a wonderful weekend. We have 33 teams here this weekend. This is the largest assemblage of racing Volvos that has ever taken place.
11 laps, 1 round. Yeah, the two takers here.
I am with Luis Barona, and he has a Volvo 1800.
Their car, I used to race it in the Mexican racetracks, and I run the Panamericana race for 8 years.
When did you start racing the car?
This one about 8 or 9 years ago, when I bought it from Bill Shanahan.
Did you do any racing before that?
Yes. I used to race a 545 for the racetracks as well as the Panamericana race.
Tell us about the Panamericana. You hear a lot about it.
Well, it's actually it will take place the last week of October next coming month, and if I would say it, from the second part of the Panamericana, the first one was from 1950 to 1954, and then Lalo Leon started with a new stage of since 1988 up to the present, and for those I have raced 15 times.
How did the Volvo do in the Panamericana?
They did quite well. Actually, I have another one that I used to lend for Joe Ramirez, who was in the chief mechanics of McLaren at the time of Senna and Prost. So I lent him another 1800 for 7 years.
Have you raced here in the United States much?
No, it's my first time, and I received a Jim's Paris invitation early this year, so I decided to come here. Maybe I don't know if I can do it in the future, but I wouldn't miss because I know it was a Volvo event. And by the way, I'm the president of the Volvo Vintage Car in Mexico.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to come, and I hope you have a good time this weekend.
Absolutely. With being a Volvo fan, I couldn't miss it. Yes, absolutely.
I'm with Dave Perry. He has a 1957 Volvo PV444. This car is one of the earliest and oldest racing Volvos here at the track this weekend. Give us some information about the car.
Well, the car, as it stands right now, is restored to 1969 condition, as it was raced then. It was I believe originally to come in through auto imports in California. They were the first West Coast importers, and the two owners decided that racing was the best way to go about exposing the car. So they formed a team with Ron Pearson. This was one of the cars that belonged to that team. Ron Pearson went on to win so many races. The racing magazines and sports car magazines picked up the information about the car, and all of a sudden the Volvo sports sedan became a real sports sedan. And in 1958 they started importing them on the East Coast, and fellas on the East Coast started racing them as well, and really dominated on the East Coast, winning the Little Le Mans 2 or 3 times at Lime Rock, and some good history. The car eventually in 1970 SCCA started issuing logbooks, and Gordon Stanley owned the car at that time, and we were fortunate to get the original logbook with this car. First race was in May of 1970. The book was when I got it was absolutely full, except for the last page still had a blank entry. So when we did the SCCA Tech In 2015, we had the SCCA do the annual inspection in this book as well. So it's got not only the first race, but it also has the last full tech inspection done by SCCA about 45 years later, which is kind of cool. And anyway, we've traced a lot of the history on the car. About 20 different drivers raced it over a period of years. One of them was Dan Gallant. He raced it in 1970s, the early 70s. He had a race shop. He and his wife had a race shop in California. They raced the car for about 3 years and then sold it. In 2003, Dan and his wife found the car in a barn, pretty much in the condition that they had left it originally, although it was pretty tired. They did a full nut and bolt restoration, stripped the car to bare metal, took every nut and bolt off the car,